Grace and peace. Mic check. We will begin in 1 minute.
Mic check.
Shabbat shalom. Right. If you can hear us, please type in a 7 in the chat. Bless up. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Right. Bless up. Give thanks, John. Grace and peace. Shabbat shalom. And one love to all the brothers and sisters from the Zion Assembly of John Jehoshua. Brother Shawn here alongside Brother Jahvid. Bless up, Brother Jahvid.
Yes, Shabbat Shalom, Brother Shawn, and all the brethren listening in and sistering.
Yes. It's up to all. We have John giving everyone a Shabbat Shalom to the family. Yes, bless up to all. Mama Greg, Sir G, Auntie Elma, Zion family, Monroe family, John, Sky, Fire, Zariah, the Ray family. Bless up to you and all who are tuning in. I'll give you guys a hail up another time in a bit. Today's lesson is entitled, this is the Messiahn Movement Part 3, False Calendars versus JAH's Holy Almanac. And today we're focusing on JAH's Holy Cycles of Time. Let us pray.
Let us pray. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be your name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us for our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us out of temptations, and deliver us from all evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and all the glory forever. In the authority and love of your Son, Jehoshua, the Messiah, our Savior, we pray. So be it.
So be it. Praise Jah.
Praise Jah.
Today is the 18th day of Elul, the 6th month for the year 6226 from creation or from origination. This is the 24th Sabbath or the 168th day of the year. 2 more Sabbaths until the Feast of Trumpets, also mid-year. This is equivalent to July 25th, 2026. Bless up, Sister Carice. One love to you. And bless up, let's see, Spence. Yes, expensive mode. I'll call you Spency. All right, expensive mode. Bless up to you as well.
Shalom.
As we look at our 20-year cycle, this is the 223rd 28-year cycle from origination. Here we are on calendar number 10, 6226 or 2026. You know, let me just do one thing here, Brother Jahvid. Let me get my cursor a little bit bigger. I like it when it's a little bit larger. Sound system. Display. Change the size of my. 1 second there, brothers and sisters.
Mm-hmm.
Where is that? Advanced display. Apps accessibility. Well, you know what? Notifications. We'll just leave it at that for now then. You can still see my cursor though, right, Brother Jahvid?
Yes. Yep.
It's kind of tiny, but I'll just wiggle him around.
Yeah, once it's moving, you can see it.
Mm-hmm.
Once it's moving, you can see it.
All right. So this is the 10th from the 20-year cycle, 10th year. This is also the 127th Jubilee cycle, starting from the year 2024. So we're 3 years into this 127th Jubilee cycle. Yes, bless up. Yes, Jamal. Bless up. One love to you.
Shalom, Jamal.
As we look at our yearly almanac, a reminder the year begins on the first day of the week, always ends on the seventh day of the week, a part of the mystery of JAH's True Holy Almanac and times. The festivals are set and fixed on the days and dates of the week. Passover will always be on the 15th, and it'll always be the first day of the week. The equinoxes and solstices are the middle of the true scriptural seasons. They are not the beginning of the seasons. One of the greatest deceptions of calendars out there today when it's reflecting upon the Most High's scriptural calendar. And here we are, one more Sabbath, well, two more, one more Sabbath for the month, and then the seventh month begins on the seventh day of the week. It's the only month that begins on the seventh day of the week. And with, well, not just today, but next Sabbath, we'll be focusing a little bit more. But today is just to give the basic principles and understandings of JAH's Almanac. Here we are on the monthly Almanac. Again, we're on the 18th. Next Sabbath, we will close off kind of the season of autumn as we, not on summer, as we go into autumn. Ethanim is also the beginning of trumpets on a Sabbath day. It's the middle of the year, and it's the beginning of the autumn season as well. And we'll talk a lot more about that next week, next Sabbath. But today is loaded, greatly loaded. As always, though, we have to give all praise, glory to Jah, Yah, our Abba, and his only begotten son, Jehoshua the Nazarite, the Holy Messiah that died for our sins, also known in the world honorably as Jesus, Yahshua, Yehoshua, Yahawashai, Yahusha, Yeshua, Jehoshua, and Joshua, the anointed of Jah, the Messiah, HaMashiach, also known as Messias.
Praise Jah.
A Shabbat Shalom, Sister Janessa. Bless up to you.
Shalom.
So as we get into this topic, the Holy Scriptural Almanac, and we're really excited about this. And as we've been moving over the years, it's been a great time as we kind of move closer and understanding starts growing, and the Most High is filling in all these little gaps, opening up the understanding of other individuals, and giving us strength also to teach in a concise way that you could digest this very complex topic, because it is complex. But once you get the hang of it and the principles, believe you me, all that you're going to see in today's lesson is deep, but you can learn it and you can know it. I never went to no university to be no scholar or anything like that. I actually went to university and didn't even do too well at all. I had other things in my mind, like life and stuff like that. But that's another story. My point is, you don't have to be like some kind of guru in astronomy to know about the Most High's things. And this is the problem, that people are most likely, when they come to a scriptural understanding of time, they're always looking at the sun, moon, and stars. And I say, what if we're doing the wrong thing and that we're not looking at his holy words like he gave Moses? When he said to Moses, he said, this is the beginning. He didn't point to any specific sun, moon, or stars or anything. So what I want to say is that JAH's Almanac is it's holy. And we call it an almanac because an almanac is like a calendar on steroids. You understand? A calendar is a table giving you days, weeks, months, and years, and a timetable like that. But when you're dealing with an almanac, and you might know about, the Farmer's Almanac out here in the world. This is 2026. I'm just going to make it a little bit big here for a second. Right there. And this almanac is full of all kind of information about astronomy, gardening, the moon, weather, climate, anything that's kind of farming. So an almanac has, extensive information outside of just a calendar. And that's what JAH's Almanac is. It's an extension of not just his holy numerical timeframes that are eternal, but it's also going to help you to navigate yourself, keeping the holy festivals, understanding the true seasons, and, meeting with the Father and Son at the holy appointed times. And these are exciting times, Brother Jahvid.
No doubt.
So when we get into this, we're focusing on holy cycles of time. And when I say this, I want to let you know that, we're going to go at a pace. We're going to look at a lot of charts. I'm not going to break things down and prove all things and quote a lot of scriptures, but I'm going to leave charts so you can get the principles of this understanding, because I think that the principles is what we need. And then when you read scriptures, many things will stand out. Again, we're not looking up in the sky for certain things. We're looking deep into JAH's word.
That's right.
So you've heard about the 7 pillars of wisdom. It's a very important aspect of Jah's understanding of time. Everything that we do is with the number 7, whether it's 7-pointed stars, the 7 colors of the rainbow. We deal with all things that belong to the Most High. And this is what he says in Proverbs 9:1.
Wisdom hath built her house. She hath hewn out her 7 pillars.
That's right. Wisdom has hewn out her 7 pillars. And these 7 pillars, family, are very, very important when it comes to understanding of time. The whole understanding of Jah's Almanac is based and surrounded around the number 7. The sun, moon, and stars operate within Jah's Almanac. Look at it like this. Jah has his holy eternal timetable. Before he even made the sun, moon, and stars, before he even made this creation, in his eternity, he set the foundation of what eternal time is. And as he broke an opening and began this creation and this 7,000-year cycle that we are now presently within, he allotted those holy time frames and instituted it into his origination, his creation. And what he did with the sun, moon, and stars is he put the sun, moon, and stars into place for us to keep time and understand signs, seasons, days, and years. But a lot of people want to use those things to, come to holy understandings, or, they'll use lunar Sabbaths for the Sabbath day, or lunar months for holy months, or even, lunar cycles for the holy feasts. And don't see that that's so contrary to the Most High. He gave the sun, moon, and stars for all of the nations. He never commanded the children of Israel to use anything in particular for months, or for holy festivals. You'll see again, Genesis, it says signs, seasons, days, and years. No mentioning about months, no mentioning about weeks or Sabbaths, and no mentioning about the 7 holy convocations in that area. It's for the world. But we're not supposed to follow that, the astronomical calendars. And this is why the Most High, when he gave Moses or Israel the almanac, the true almanac, the scriptural calendar, you know that they were in Egypt when he did this? That's right. Jah gave the scriptural almanac before he even gave the Passover, before he instituted the 7-day Sabbath to the Israelites, that is, before he even gave them the 10 commandments and the law. Oh, wow. What I'm trying to say here is that Jah's Almanac is foundational. And if you're going to be like how the people are in the world when it comes to the scriptural almanac, Satan has caused them to just look at the stars all the time. But just what if, family? Consider this. What if the holy understanding of Jah's holy times are actually found within the Bible? Would you consider that man-made? I wouldn't. Not at all. But some people have tried to say that we're bringing a man-made calendar because we're getting it from the scriptures, and we're not following the Most High's almanac because we're not following the sun, moon, and stars, of which if you do use those things to worship the Most High, it's not a good thing for you. So let's get into this understanding when we talk about things today. I got a few things from the internet, that AI thing, and I'm learning how to use it, not to get information from it, but to establish certain understandings in order to help deliver. We've had Jah's Almanac when I say I speak for the brethren and sisters of the assembly, for over 30 years, but our elder, he had it, probably 10 years extra, maybe over 40 years. And so this is very important. So if I ever say I, family of Zion, I mean we, and I'll still try to say we anyways.
And before we continue, considering this Proverbs verse, brothers and sisters, notice the association with the number 7 with wisdom. The number 7 is associated with wisdom. It is the number of wisdom. It's the number of holiness. It's the number of perfection. And it's the number of completeness. Don't forget these things, because as we move along and we see the scriptures, you'll see how important this number 7 is. And it's established by Jah himself. And it has nothing to do with any solar or lunar activity looking up into the heavens. And it has everything to do with the word that Jah established from the beginning out of his own mouth.
That's right. Well said. So the core symmetrical, numerical, this is from the internet, blueprint is 7 and 12. Of course, other numbers are used and we'll talk about them. But in Jah's system, this is not a chaotic sequence of shifting days, but a rigid mathematical matrix. The number 7 which, as Brother Jahvid clearly said, it represents spiritual perfection and completion. And every block of time operates on the principle of the Sabbath. When it comes to holy times, the 7th-day Sabbath, the first thing that was made holy is going to be the first thing of JAH's Holy Almanac. Days move in a strict set of sevens, where they come from weeks. And then you have blocks of sevens when it comes to years, and you can get into the 7-year Sabbath cycles and other things that we're going to talk about. But also the number 12 is very important as well, as the year is locked into 12 strict segments, 12 months, mirroring the 12 tribes of Israel, the 12 gates of New Jerusalem, and the 12 apostles, and the 12 hours in the daytime, and the 12 hours in the night. So these things work hand in hand. When you have an almanac and somebody has to utilize a 13-month every 3rd year or every 2 years or any time within the lunar cycle, the 19-year Metonic lunar cycle, that's what they're going to use. Tell you to have to, and have 13 months. 13 months is completely absent from the scripture. It highlights 12 greatly. And not only does it highlight 12, it reminds us in the book of Revelation that in heavenly Jerusalem, where you have the tree of life bringing forth its fruit every month, it says it brings forth every month 12 manner of fruit every month. And it says, though, that in that city, there's no need for the sun, moon, and stars. Nowhere in this huge, gigantic city that is thousands of miles long, thousands. Yeah, it's not like so small city like Toronto, New York. It covers almost like 2 states or 2-3 provinces. And I say this because there's no sun, moon, and stars. So how are we getting months in that heavenly, Jerusalem? Again, I'm really appealing to my brothers and sisters out there who are caught up into looking at the sun, moon, and stars to stop looking up there and look at JAH's things. And then we can teach you how to utilize JAH's sun, moon, and stars the correct way to get the seasons. But otherwise, pay attention to these mathematical understandings, because you're not going to hear anything like it. And I really want to build up others in this knowledge. It's not for us to be secret and you only got to be special and this and that. No, we've gotten it. We've had to learn it ourselves. And now, as we go through time, we're trying to share it. And it's not easy. It's so complex. But with JAH's will, and if you have a clean mind and you love JAH's word, if you love the scripture, which leads to loving the Father and the Son, then you'll get it for sure. You'll catch on. So when we look at things, I want you to pay attention to all of our charts, which are made by us exclusively. We have the 3-month seasons here. This is a 3-month season year of the latter rains. It's equivalent to beginning in the first week of February. We'll talk about that. And we got some spring festivals, Passover, and the Feast of Weeks is in here. Then we got the next set of 3 months, another season we call summer or early summer. Then the next set of 3 months is latter summer or autumn, it can be called. And also then we will have the last season of the year, which is winter, but also known as the early rains. It's the beginning of this rainy season that goes from 1, 2, 3 and extends into the beginning of the year into the latter rains 1, 2, and 3. So on this chart here, you'll see all the dates are highlighted. They're fixed. This is something that you see every week when we're talking about it, but you're going to learn about it more. And also, again, focus on these things. Take a screenshot, study these things. You'll see that there's 89 days in this top season here of the latter rains. You'll find out that there's 92 days, dealing with here. And then there's another 92 and then a 91 or 89, 92, 92, and 91. And we'll talk about that. So we got 4 seasons. We got 12 months. The 7th month is the only month that starts on the 7th-day Sabbath. Isn't that beautiful?
It's perfect.
So perfect. And of course, the equinoxes, as we say, and the solstices, they're the middle of this true scriptural season. It's not the beginning. We talk about this a lot. Watch any of our lessons on midsummer, midwinter, the summer solstice, solar seasons. There's so much information that once you see and get this information, you're going to be vexed because we've been lied to so much. But don't be vexed with yourself. Be vexed with the same person that the Most High is vexed with, that adversary, because he's the one who's thwarted things.
And when you look at the going back to the chart for a sec, I would advise everyone to screenshot this, because you're getting an overview of JAH's entire calendar year. And this 364-day year is divisible by the number 7.
Yeah.
And so we said earlier that the number 7 is a perfect number. And so this is why JAH's calendar is very unique, because 52 weeks times 7 equals 364. Any other calendar that you can't divide 7 into is an imperfect calendar. JAH's calendar is perfect, and it has to be divisible by the number 7. As you can see here, the 7-day weekly cycle is completely intact, and it's unmovable and unbreakable, just like the 7-day Sabbath.
And you're going to hear a lot more about that, just as Brother Jahvid said in this lesson here. So we're beginning things with the 7 days of origination, and we're going to move through these things quick. One thing I want to let you know is that day 1 of origination, you got to really divide this day, the first day of origination or the first day of creation, into 2. The night period or the darkness period and the light period. But a lot of people, when they read this day 1, they only see like the light. When he said, let there be light. When you look into things, it's 5 verses, and the first 3 verses, I believe, focus on darkness. And what you're going to see, just like how I'm showing you here, is that in darkness, the Most High was working on his heaven, his throne, because in darkness, it's still the same to him. Jah could see through any thick darkness or any light. He was making his heaven when he was hovering above the waters. He began time in darkness in the beginning. The earth was unformed. It was like clay material, and it was submerged in the dark waters, because it said the Spirit of the Most High was floating above the face of the waters, which means the surface, not the face, but the surface, the top of the waters. And the earth material was submerged in. You need to know that to get that understanding. So the Most High was, when he was hovering, he was making the heavens that was above his water, above the waters. That's his throne. He didn't make the angels alive yet or anything of that nature. They might have been, they're being prepared, but it was only until Jah says, let there be light, then the angels come alive. And Jah puts them in all their places where they have to be, doing this and that in his creation. There's angels that do all kind of different things, have different roles in his heavenly temple and all kind of stuff. And that was what he did in that last 12 hours from let there be light. So when he said let there be light, that was the beginning of the first morning. When it says in the beginning, that darkness is that evening. The beginning of darkness, of time, begins in the evening or darkness. He made his things. And everything that the Most High made, you need to understand this, all the elements that he made is what he made the rest of the universe with. So, the 4 elements are earth, water, fire, and wind, right? Spirit. And we can see that the Most High says his spirit was there. It was moving above the waters. We have the waters were there. He never said let there be waters. It seemed like waters were just there when he made things in the beginning. We have fire when he says let there be light. That's energy, life, fire. And that's when, again, when the angels, they became alive on the first day of origination when he said let there be light. So we have the waters, we have light, we have the earth material that's submerged in the waters all together. And from these things, the Most High makes the rest of the universe. So he created these things, and then everything is made from all of these substances. Spiritual material, physical material, as you can see.
That's right.
Then after that, I should say, not even after that, as we're saying, again, in this darkness period, Jah began things in the evening at 12 hours of darkness. During this time period, we have spirit, we have heaven, we have earth, waters, darkness, evening, and night, all associated with the darkness. Then when he says, let there be light, the next 12-hour cycle begins and carries on, 12-hour light cycle, finishing up the 24-hour day, sorry. And once you see that, you got to say to yourself, hey, the Most High made evening and morning, day and night, but there was no sun and moon. Oh, that's another great understanding. For 3 days fully, until he made the sun, moon, and stars on day 4, and then put them into operation on day 5, there was no sun, moon, and stars, but the Most High was still saying the evening and morning were the first, second, and third, and fourth day. That's letting you know, again, Jah's almanac, his time frame, begins with him. He didn't begin time with the sun, moon, and stars. He didn't say that was day 1 or that's the beginning of a month or anything of that nature. He was coming from day 1. Once you understand that, and you understand how this day 1 of creation actually operates, how we're showing you, oh man, you're getting set into the true patterns of truth. From darkness, then you get light. And this is a pattern you're going to see all the way through JAH's, universe and almanac.
Mm-hmm.
So then we have day 2. He divides the waters. The waters go up. The waters, there's a separation in a firmament, the heaven, almost like you would say the sky. He makes this kind of dome thing. And then it wasn't until day 3 where he brings the waters together underneath this heaven. And there's waters above, and there's the waters, the oceans below. And that day he also said, let the land come forth. He brought forth the vegetation. He made the seas and the rivers and the freshwater lakes. All of that came forth when JAH brought the waters together into one place. So again, the earth wasn't formed on day 1. The earth is not even a globe. And I shouldn't say if you believe that. If you believe that, we've all been deceived. We all came out through that thing. But it's not. And this has great implications on JAH's almanac, of which we might talk about shortly. So from here, he makes the sun, moon, and stars. It's good to know that he says in the scriptures he made 2 great lights. The world teaches you that the moon reflects light off of the sun. No, that's a big fat lie. The moon even teaches you that the moon goes around the earth, a spinning ball from west to east. When you just simply go outside and you see the sun rises in the east, sets in the west, you'll see that the moon rises out in the east and sets in the west, and you'll see that the stars move in its circular form from east to west as well. Mm-hmm. This is how the true formation and understanding of JAH's creation, origination should really be. The solar system, we'll talk about it later, it's false though. It's an earthly system. JAH made the earth first. Remember, the world teaches you that the sun came before the earth in scientific Big Bang foolishness theory. But in JAH's things, the sun doesn't even come until day 4. But in their things, that's how it is, a Big Bang and then the sun. And some people who read the scriptures want to try to bring in the Big Bang and incorporate it into JAH's word. And that when he said, let there be light, that's when the bang is. Get out of here with that too. Even try bring science into this thing here. Doesn't work. JAH's things are holy.
That's right. And before you continue, Shawn, notice in day 3 when JAH said he gathered the waters into one place, you have no indication here that the earth is moving. JAH set the earth in one place and it's fixed, so it doesn't move. And this is what your scriptures teach you, brothers and sisters, and that the sun, moon, and stars and the elements that are hanging above the earth, they're the things that are revolving and moving around the earth. Those things were created for the earth, not the other way around.
That's right.
So when you understand the creation of the world, whether you think the earth is flat or round, one thing you can know for sure is that the earth is fixed in one place and it doesn't move. And that the sun, moon, and stars are the things that you look up into the sky and you see those things moving with your own eyes. It's not the earth moving and how science will teach you and that it's really an illusion. And if that was the case, why don't they just call it Earthrise and Earth Set? But they don't.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right, brother. And then we get into day 5. JAH brings forth the marine, the water life, and also the fowl. And then on day 6, he brings forth the animals, the insects, the farm animals, and all the animals that go in the jungle. And of course, tops off with this creation of Adam and Eve. Now, we greatly teach that Adam and Eve were made on day 6. Some people have issues with that, but because we follow JAH's word, I see in that. But you just got to think to yourself one thing. It says in the end of day 6, if you look at Genesis chapter 1, it says, and JAH looked at everything that he had made, everything he made, and he said it was very good. Mm-hmm. So Satan, number 1, Satan wasn't even a rebel or a bad guy for the whole week of creation, because the Most High said everything was very good. That's right. Satan was even very good. And it says everything he made. So Eve was there. Some people, and I used to maybe think Eve was made after the creation week, but then it's like she'd be outside of creation. And then it'd be like everything, JAH saw everything that he made. It was very good, except Eve. That's why we had to make her outside of creation. So it don't work like that. She was made on the first day after Adam. On the 6th day, on the one day after Adam was originated. And then after that, we have this 7th day Sabbath that they go into with the Father as he completes that creation week with them and then prepares them to have their first actual week of creation, right?
That's right.
Which would be, I mean, if it's a Sabbath, that would actually be, and the Sabbath is the seventh day from creation, that would actually simply be the eighth day. The eighth day would be the first day of the week, and they would be doing their thing, right?
That's right.
Keep that principle in mind. You see, the number 7 is great understandings. I mean, we know all about it, but you got to really take a look. 7 spirits of JAH, and this is just from Revelation. 7 seals, golden candlesticks, the 7 stars in the Messiah's hand, the 7 angels and the 7 assemblies, the 7 letters to the assemblies, the 7 eyes and 7 horns of the Lamb, the 7 mountains, the 7 thunders, the 7 kings, the 7 angels, the 7 trumpets, the 7 angels with 7 vials, the 7 seals, the 7 heads and the 7 crowns of the dragon. We also got the 7 locks of Samson. We got many other 7 things. Let's continue go. We got the 7 colors of JAH's rainbow: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, purple, or violet. We got the 7 notes of music. And although in an octave, I know that when you have an octave, so if you say it with me, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, you see that do is the 8th note, but it's actually also the first note of the next octave, because we have do, re, mi, and then it is fa, sol, la, ti, do, re, mi. So it's like it's like 7 notes within an octave. And this is very important, because when you start to see how 7 and 8 operate in JAH's Almanack, Brother Jahvid, I got some stuff that could, is going to really be interesting for the eye.
Yeah. And just speaking about notes in music, as Shawn is pointing out, you have octaves. So you have intervals of 7 notes as you go into every scales. And when you speak about scales, there are 12 scales within the musical pattern of music. And that's something to notice as well.
That's right. What is the number 4 have any relevance? It's 4 beats per note, right? It's supposed to be, or naturally?
Typically when music is made, it's usually in measures of 4. Typically, yeah. Most music that you'll ever listen to is usually you can usually count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Some rhythm of 4 is typically what you'll hear in most music.
And how many you have 5 lines on the staff there and 5 spaces? E, G,
1,
B,
2,
E,
3,
F,
4, 5.
F, A,
Yeah.
C. Those are 4 spaces.
1, 2. It's 4 spaces and 5 lines.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Clef in your bass clef.
But music is spiritual, as you know, and we wanted to bring out that 7, and we got the 7 holy convocations: the first day of Passover, the 7th day of Passover, the Feast of Weeks, the Memorial of Trumpets, the Day of Atonement, the first day of Tabernacles, and the 8th great day. And you can probably, if you look in the description below, if you want, you can click on I think it's last week's part 2, the holy convocations, and watch how there's only 7 holy convocations, and that's vital to this understanding as well. But here we got all these great 7s, and this is why, again, the wisdom of 7 is beautiful. Go ahead, Brother Jahvid.
JAH's Holy Almanac is found in his Holy Scriptures. It functions as a highly structured numerical perfection of holy time. It's completely separate from modern astronomy and instead relies on the holy perfection of scriptural numbers like 7 and 12, aligned with the true agricultural and solar refreshing periods of the earth. Here's how JAH's holy layout looks when broken down into its scriptural mathematical patterns, seasonal shifts, and structural framework.
All right, so we're going to get into this. Again, we're going to, as I look at my time frame, it's good where we want to be. We're going to be moving a little bit quicker. But the quickness is not going to be sped up. It's just going to be, each chart is going to be just broken down quickly. So first of all, I asked the internet, just before we get to this, and as kind of alluding to what Brother Jahvid and I were talking about earlier, I'm going to bring it up one more time. This solar system thing. You see the solar system with the sun in the middle and 9 planets, all of that is satanic. And as we've been saying, the earth is the biggest thing out here. Let's call this the universe, I guess. Our biggest thing out here in creation is the earth. They make it seem like it's the sun in the, our galaxy and all of this and that. But the earth is way bigger than the sun. The sun moves around the earth and serves the earth. But again, when you're dealing with Babylon, they're going to switch the head to the tails and the tail to the head and make, the sun the biggest, and the earth, it takes like, you can fit 1 million earth globe is inside of a sun. Foolishness, anyways. But here's the thing. When it comes to the Gregorian calendar that they put out here, that's been out since the year 1582, let's say over the last 400 years and change, almost 430 years or more, you'll see that it's the Gregorian calendar is definitely tied. Well, this is what I found, tied to the heliocentric model. The heliocentric model, I know it sounds like a big thing, but you should know these words. Heliocentric means sun-centered. Geocentric means earth-centered. So the word in whatever it's Latin or the Greek, geo means earth. So when you're studying geography or geography, it's the study of the earth. So geocentric is the earth being centered, and that's kind of like the understanding from the scriptural point of view, whereas heliocentric is the solar system. And the word in Latin for helios is soul, and also, Greek it's helios, and in Latin it's soul. So you have this solar calendar. So my thing is, I had to ask the internet the question. I said, hey, is there a connection between the Gregorian calendar and the heliocentric sun-centered theory of the so-called solar system? So I asked the question, and Brother Jahvid, this is what it said.
Yes, there is a technical and historical connection between the introduction of heliocentrism and the Gregorian calendar reform in 1582. Although they were driven by different motivations, and the church did not formally accept the sun-centered model at the time. Nicholas Copernicus' work on heliocentrism was directly utilized by the commission that reformed the calendar, even while the church rejected his heliocentric theory.
So you see, when it's calling the church, it's talking about the Roman Catholic Church, because that's how it was. They were running things back then, and they're still actually running things now. You can't really see it. But when they were dealing with that, they believed that the earth was geocentric, right? Fully. And the heliocentric model, when it came in, they fought that. They didn't like it. But the Catholic Church definitely embraced the calendar that went with the heliocentric model, which is the Gregorian calendar. And it's named Gregory because it's named after Pope Gregory, and he happened to be one of the popes. I don't know which number he was, but it's Pope.
Might have been the 13th, I think. In that 13 is a suspect number.
If he is the 13th, then boy, that's even more devious. That's good to know. I'll check that out another time too. Yeah. So looking at this understanding, although they didn't, the heliocentric model didn't come in until and the geocentric didn't come in exactly the same time. They were within 20 to 25 years, maybe extension of 30 years or even shorter. But they, as you can see here, is the church used Nicholas Copernicus's model of the heliocentric, the solar system, in order to form their Gregorian calendar. And this is why you have the Gregorian calendar today, and they say it's 365.24398 and all kind of different numbers in a decimal point. That's how long it takes for the earth to go around, do a complete revolution around the sun. And that's all, again, these two things are tied together, right? And so, when we're just looking at this again, I just want to let you know that this is the heliocentric model, sun-centered, scientific, false solar system. We grew up with this, and this is the earth-centered, true scriptural system with the sun, moon, and stars moving around the earth. So you see, it's completely two different things. It's like we're looking at heads and tails here, family. And this is what the devil does. He kind of flips it so that you can't really see, because when you flip it completely and reverse it, it looks like the front is the back and the back is the front. But if you don't know it, you'll think the back is the front and the front is the back when it's just been flipped. So we have to have an understanding. So although, we don't get into this greatly, I know that, his role in 1542, he contributed to the council debates to reform that Julian calendar. And then the Gregorian calendar was introduced again by Pope Gregory. You can read from here, Brother Jahvid, scientific basis.
Yes. The Gregorian calendar, introduced by Pope Gregory the 13th in 1582, was designed to fix the drift in the Julian calendar, ensuring that Easter was celebrated at the correct time of the year. The calculations used for this reform were based on the accurate solar year data, including that produced by Copernicus in his heliocentric work, The Revolutionary something, in his book. The paradox, while the Catholic Church used Copernican calculations for the new calendar, it continued to hold a geocentric or earth-centered view and later deemed heliocentrism to be heresy in the case of Galileo. The shared goal, both the reform of the calendar and the study of heliocentrism, were driven by a need to solve existing astronomical inaccuracies. Summary, the heliocentric theory provided the mathematical accuracy necessary to fix the calendar, but the Gregorian reform itself was a religious action taken to stabilize the Easter holiday, not a public adoption of a sun-centered universe.
That's right. So basically, when they brought in, the Gregorian calendar, they didn't say, "Hey, now here's the solar system." They fought it, and then they utilized it. But notice what they say here: these astronomical inaccuracies. You see that? Very small little observation, but we have to read with, a good filter on our mind, because that means these inaccuracies of the astronomy must be affecting time somehow. And the whole point of this is that JAH governs time, just like always counting time before the sun, moon, and stars. The sun, moon, and stars operate within JAH's things. So it'll never go out of whack with JAH things. It may seem like it for a moment, but JAH cycles, because there's cycles within cycles within cycles, comes back around again. So again, I'm just showing you, let you know that the Gregorian calendar that we have out here, it's a pretty accurate calendar in terms of keeping the seasons together. Otherwise, people would be talking against it. Usually when people talk about the Gregorian calendar as being, of the devil, is because, hey, they start the year in January, right? And they do all of that. And basically that's the main issue, that they start the year in January. But the thing is, if you have a lunar calendar, the Enoch calendar, they all have to use the Gregorian calendar to get your equinox to figure out what's going on. So they still have to use the numerical understandings of the Gregorian calendar in order to figure out when they're going to do their lunar months and festivals. So, when people try to fight the Gregorian calendar, which it is Satan's calendar, they're kind of fighting it in a wrong way. And I usually say they always like throwing the baby out with the bathwater. But the mathematics, in particular of the Julian calendar, that is the predecessor of the Gregorian calendar, they have their days at 365.25. That's perfect. That's actually, they know JAH's things. By the formation of the Gregorian calendar and the Julian calendar, it lets those of us who know about the 28-year cycle, that the heathens know about JAH's calendar and almanac clearly. They know it. And then that's one of the biggest kept secrets of this earth. And we'll talk about that another time. So again, I just want to let you know that when it comes to equinoxes and solstices, these calendars that are based upon this deception is false. The true almanac is based upon the earth-centered understanding, but most importantly, upon JAH's words, which give us the understanding. So any calendars that use the equinoxes and solstices as the beginning of seasons are in error, and any calendar that uses the solar system time frames as a foundation for time reckoning are also in error. Any calendar that uses lunar months or lunar Sabbaths or lunar feasts are in error. Again, here's a list of some of these astronomical calendars, and I'm just saying it quickly so we can move on. But we have the Gregorian and Julian calendars. We have the professed Hebrew lunisolar calendar, or the Jewish calendar out there, which many Israelites also use, or anybody who uses lunar months as the beginning, or lunar cycles as the beginning of months. Then we have the professed Enoch or Zadok calendars. They come a little bit more, they're a little bit more better than the lunar months, or a lot better. Anything better, when you have lunar months based upon a lunar cycle, it's just completely whacking off. So the professed Enoch, Zadok calendars use the book of Enoch, the book of Jubilee, and some from Jasher. The thing is, there is a couple of good quotes in those books, but for the most part, all the other calendar information is false. The books are greatly false. So however this thing worked out, I know there's about 2 or 3 good quotes from Enoch talking about the 364-day year. There's an excellent quote from the book of Jubilee talking about if you use lunar months, how it's going to mess up everything, and that's what the Gentiles are using. But outside of that, it's not based upon the principles of those books. As we said, and we're teaching greatly, it's based upon the principles found within scriptures. And again, we're just scratching the surface here. Somebody says, There's a spirit in us, a God, Son of God, for the unlocking of the spirit. Visit drums. Okay. Okay. All right. So we also have here the Zadok Jubilee priestly calendar that people will use up there, and the Mazzaroth astronomical calendar using the constellations as the signal for when you start things, the new moon lunar Sabbath barley, the ancient Egyptian Babylonian lunisolar calendars, all Greek and Roman lunar calculations, and the Ethiopian or Greek Orthodox calendars. They have a 13-month, and it's 365 plus 5 or 6 days. And so they consider 5 days or 6 days, they consider that a 13th month, Brother Jahvid, and it doesn't even make a week. So
No.
a lot of follies going on here. You understand?
Yeah.
So, we looked at everything very quickly before, and I want to say this. All right, we got the creation week. Here we go. First, we're just counting. And we're going to say, like, we should understand that the first day of creation is the first day of the almanac, the calendar. And if you want to say, no, it's not, whatever, again, that's a completely different thing. Then we definitely are far, far, far apart. But I mean, why wouldn't you want to count from day one if JAH was counting from day one? That's the problem.
Exactly.
People trust his words. They want to look in the sky so much. They love those things too much. But anyways, we can count. Month 1, Abib 1, week 1, month 1, season 1, year 1. Then we count. That first 7-day Sabbath is the 7th day from day 1. So it's Abib 7, or the 7th day of the first month. And then after that, we have a new week when Adam and Eve now begin their own new week on this 8th day here. This Abib 8, though, happens to also be the first day of the week, but it's the 8th day of creation, but it's the first day of the next week. And then you count through. And then you get to 14th, obviously, because it's a multiple of 7s, the 14th of Abib is going to be on a Sabbath day. And this is why when you deal with the Passover, they would sacrifice the lamb at the end of the 14th day, which is the beginning of the 15th day, because the 14th day is a holy Sabbath. And if you read Leviticus 23, remember, the 14th day is not a holy convocation at all. It's just a time when they sacrificed the lamb, when they did that at the 14th that evening, they would do it and then cook it into the 15th. But otherwise, we don't sacrifice the lamb. So we keep the feast of Passover and unleavened bread at the beginning of the 15th, right? Which would be right here, the 15th. When we're looking at time period again, the 15th, the first day of the week, because the 14th is a Sabbath. You kill the lamb here, then you got your 15th. The first day is holy and the 7th day is holy. And we're still counting, just like how, people should count. And we can even go up to 28. Now, I'm not going to get into all of this about the first month, but this is the first month of scripture that you're going to see, that you see on your screen here, that's in the scriptures. The first month is equivalent to 28 days long. Mm-hmm. We will be focusing on that next week. I'm not focusing on that today. I want to get the principles and fundamentals. But believe you me, you can prove from your holy scriptures that the first month has 28 days and only 28 days, and begins on the first day of the week and ends on the 7th day of the week, which makes the second month also begin on the first day of the week. These are scriptural fundamentals. But I just want to share with you again how we're counting. Look at the understanding of time in the evening, in the morning, in the eve. These are the basic principles, right? You're right. Dawn evening is the beginning of a day. The earth once mirrored the time cycle of the heavens. Mm-hmm. All right. So again, we don't start at day 4 of creation, which a lot of people do. Just 12 holy months, 7 holy days, and 4 holy seasons of his 364-day common year of 52 continuous weeks. The important aspect here I want to show you on this chart here is that the Most High's, when it comes to his almanac, it's 52 weeks, as Brother Jahvid said, 7 days in a week. 52 times 7, and we're going to do a lot of math today too, is 364. But the title of this chart here, again, it's going to show you 12 holy months. It's going to show you the 7 holy days. It's going to show you the 4 holy seasons of the 364, 52 continuous week understanding. And what I want you to do is when you're looking at this understanding, creation here begins on the first day of the week. This would be the 7th day of the week, the first Sabbath. And as you're going through, you're going to see that there's numbers 1, 2, and 3. These are the month numbers, month 1. and they're color coded. So month 1 begins on the first day of the week, ends on the 7th day of the week, and month 2 begins on the first day of the week. But you can see here, what I'm counting here is just the seasons. So I'm going from 1, counting the latter rain or the spring season, and it has 89 days. So we have month 1 here, 28 days. And then we have month 2. You can't see that it's 31 days, but that's what it is. And we go to 89 days. This here is the beginning of the next season called summer. But what I want you to take a look at is that look at all these weeks here. We have 1 to 7. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So when we do that, 13 understanding, and even though I said in the first season there's 89 days, but you can see here if you were to include the red and the white, the red numbers, you'd have 89, then you have 90, 91. Now, I'm just using an example to show you here that if you had 91 days and 13 weeks, we can do the math, take out your calculator. 91, how many seasons do we have? We have 4 times 4 equals, and then you would get, your 364, right?
Mm-hmm.
You understand? We got our 52 times 7 gives you your 364, right? 364. Yeah. So now this understanding is the average of things. But you can see when I'm looking at the red here, I'm just letting you know that's the beginning of a new season. So the first season isn't 91 days, even though you want to say, hey, that's so perfect, but it's an average of 91. But let's continue. I want you to notice the week is continuing. So we have 13 weeks here, right? So let's go to the next 13 weeks. So we have the next season here beginning on the 6th day of the week. And then we have the 2 here, and we have it continuing. So this is the beginning of the 4th month. It begins here, and it goes through. It has 31 days. And then again, we're still counting this season. It goes through, and there's day 92. When you learn about JAH's Almanack again, the 2nd season, called summer or early summer, has 92 days. Remember, we can show this from your Holy Scriptures, but I'm just giving you the charts, just so you can see the charts and get a good understanding, the visual. And so you'll see here that this is month 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is the 6th month. So right now we are on day 86 of the 6th month, because there's only actually day 79, because there's one more Sabbath left, right? So
yes, day 86 of this season.
That's right. See, this is week 26 and day 182, which is also the first day of the 7th month. But I just want you to take a look here. 13 weeks here plus 13 weeks here is 26. The 7th month is the only month begins on the 7th day of the week, right here. So we can see that starting from 1 here to 92, we have 92 days. And we also now, the Day of Trumpets, it's in the middle of the year. It's week 26 or Sabbath 26 and day 82, the exact middle. And it's the only month that starts on the 7th day of the week. And then you go through 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And again, we're counting only the seasons. This season here, which is autumn, ends on the 7th day of the week. Winter begins on the 1st day of the week and also ends on the 7th day of the week. This would be day 364. Why am I showing you this like this with the months? Is so that you can kind of see that the weekly cycle isn't broken. Pay attention here too. You'll see that there's 7 holy convocations, Brother Jahvid, and they're highlighted in the white in months 1 and 3 and month 7. So we see that if you remember from last week, the 15th, the first day of Abib, the 15th day of Abib, the first day of Passover is holy, and the 7th day is holy. So we got one holy day, another holy convocation, the 21st. The days in between are not holy convocations, like they're not Sabbaths. You can work and everything, but day 1 and day 7 are Sabbaths. And then you got the waving of the sheaf after, but that's not a holy day either. And then you got to count the weeks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then this day after the 7th, you have 71. That's the Feast of Weeks or the Feast of Pentecost. So we got 1, 2, 3 holy convocations, as you know, no holy convocations in early summer, and then we begin in latter summer. And latter summer or autumn begins with a holy day, the Feast of Trumpets, which is right here. So this is number 4. Remember, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have the day of 10 days later, the Day of Atonement, 5, the first day of Tabernacles, and the 8th day of Tabernacles on here. So this chart here, kind of like a new chart, but giving you an idea, looking at the continuous weeks, 364 days. You got your seasons and your months, just so you can see it. So how JAH's Almanac operates. At the end of this here, the year's going to start again and start on the first day of the week. Not much people's almanac out there. I don't even know if there's any calendars out there that have their almanac starting on the first day of the week, just like the first day of creation. I mean, isn't that perfect right off the bat?
That's right. And this is a good chart I can see, because you can see the 4 seasons broken down within the 364-day year.
Yes.
Spring season is 89 days. Then you have summer, which is 92 days. Then you have autumn, which is also 92 days. And then winter is 91 days. And all those numbers add up to 364.
That's
and
right.
within all of these 364 days, you can still see JAH's continual 7-day weekly cycle unbroken throughout this entire time.
That's right. Praise JAH.
Praise JAH.
All right. So we did the 7 holy convocations last week. I just want to kind of bring them on the screen so you can see. Again, first day of Passover, 7th day of Passover, Feast of First Fruits or the Feast of Weeks or Pentecost, trumpets, atonement, tabernacles, and the 8th day of Tabernacles. This lets you know here when they're supposed to be kept. You know, the first day, Sunday of JAH's Almanac, not giving you the Gregorian understandings. And if you want, when you go to Leviticus chapter 23, I want you to go over there. And when you get a read, you will get the 7 holy convocations in there as well. First and 7 days of Passover, right there. First and 7 days of Passover in Leviticus 23, Feast of Weeks, trumpets, atonement, tabernacles, the 8th day. As well, if you go to Numbers chapters 28 and 29, you're going to get the same thing. The first and 7th day of Passover, here's the scriptures for it. The Feast of Weeks or Pentecost, trumpets in the autumn months, atonement, tabernacles, and the 8th day. So what I have on your screen, these 2 things, Leviticus 23 here, is where you get all 7 holy convocations. And again, we went over that clearly, but there's the verses extracted for easy understanding. And the same thing when it comes to Numbers chapter 28 and chapters 29, which deals with the autumn months. Again, just giving you the 7 holy convocations so you know they're important. This is why we keep an almanac or a calendar, because the only reason we want to do it is because we want to keep the holy festivals, not because of any other reason.
That's right.
So, you know, this understanding comes from this quarter, the solar season. And if you'll notice here, I want you to see something, what I said before. Notice it says here, latter rains, solar spring, early summer, solar autumn, solar winter. And knowing that understanding as well, you will see that instead of studying seasons at the solstices and equinoxes, like we've been talking about, which is in March, June, September, December, this calendar aligns with the cross-quarter days, the actual atmospheric and agricultural turning points when the sun's energy visibly shifts the earth into new phases. Brother Jahvid?
February, the awakening. Rather than waiting for March, the biblical year stirs in February, aligning with the early rain and the budding of the almond trees in Israel. May, the summer harvest. Summer begins here, directly aligning with the grain harvest and Pentecost. August, or the maturation, the ingathering. Autumn starts as the intense heat ripens the final fruits, grapes, and olives for the wine presses. November, the deep winter. Winter begins when the earth goes dormant and receives the heavy winter rains.
So if you've been following along with us, these are the solar seasons. These are the seasons that JAH's Almanac follows. These are the seasons that even the climate of the land of Israel, when it comes to the rainy season or the winter season and the summer season. So summer of 6 months is in Israel, and winter of 6 months. And all of that coincides perfectly. The rains, The early rains from your Holy Bible in Israel begins in November, and this is probably the last week of October, but November is the official start. The early rains begin in February and last for 3 months. February, March, and April. And because April showers bring May flowers, May is the beginning of summer of 3 months. And then you have August, which is latter summer or autumn of 3 months. This, what you see on your screen right now, is a perfect understanding. And even the internet knows of these things. They don't consider it JAH's Almanack, but they consider it the true, seasons and understanding of the seasons, where the solstices and equinoxes are the middle. So again, Passover week fixed, the sheaf. Here we're seeing these 7 holy days right here. Again, the 7 holy days, the first holy day of Passover, the 7th holy day of Passover. The waving of sheaf is nothing. That's in green. Then you have first fruits or Pentecost on the 12th of the 3rd month. So we have 1, 2, 3. Then we have trumpets again, 4, atonement 5, first day of tabernacles, and the 8th day of tabernacles as your holy convocations. This is how the festivals look on the Almanac. And honorable mentions go to the waving of the sheaf, the feast of dedication that starts on the first day of the week, and the feast of Purim, which is in the 12th month, also equivalent to Adar. So this is the same thing that I showed you, just seasons and his 364-day common year of 52 weeks. The only difference here, Brother Jahvid, is in this chart, we just started the months when they're supposed to start. So it's not of the seasons, but it's actually of the month. So Abib has 28 days, and then Ziph starts, and Ziph starts in the, number 1, and it has 31 days. Then Savan starts, and that's 30 days, and then this is the beginning here. So it's like the same chart that we saw, we saw with the what's it called, the seasons, the 89, 92, 92, 91.
Yes.
But now I just, with this one here, I just didn't continue the seasons, but I just wanted to show you the division of months. So
Yes,
again, looking at the division of months, family, you see here perfectly that there's 52 weeks. The year starts on the beginning of the weekly cycle and ends on the 7th day weekly cycle right here, day 364. And here's the division of months. It's not like how the Enoch calendar does it. It's not like, how any other calendars do it. Now, I do have to say that the Gregorian calendar and Julian calendars, because they know of JAH's things, and that's really higher level stuff that they're deceiving the world with, they're very similar to some of the numberings, where that even February in their calendar has 28 days. But don't you find it awkward that why does it have 28 days and it's the 2nd month of the year? Like, at least you would think it'd be either the last month of the year or even, as we're doing it, the 1st month of the year. But they make it the 2nd month of the year. And it's weird. But the truth of the matter is they're trying to hide things. February is, approximately the beginning, the first week of February is the beginning of the true scriptural year or solar spring. But when they do it with the January and then they give you the equinox in March, they just kind of sandwich the truth and you can't see it. And everybody thinks, oh, February's in the dead of winter and this and that. Not really kind of taking a good look into things. And so when you look into it, the weeks match out perfectly in the days. And you screenshot this, you're getting good information right now, because all of this is in our books and in our other writings as well.
And looking at this chart, one that should stand out to you is that the first month is 28 days, as we always mention, and that the rest of the months alternate between 31 and 30 days. With the exception of the middle months, 6 and 7, you have back-to-back 31 days.
That's right. Right here, 31. Right here, 31. These are the 2 middle months of the year. Months 6 and 7, we're in that area right now. So remember, we have explained all of these things, but we're going to continue to do it. We can explain why, the 4th month in the red here, how do you know it starts on the 6th day of the week? We can go to the scriptures for these things. We can know that there's 28 days in the 1st month from the Holy Scriptures. That lets us know that the 2nd month starts on the 1st day of the week and ends on the 3rd day of the week. We can know from the Holy Scriptures that the 3rd month, sorry, that's the 2nd month. The 3rd month starts from the middle of the week here. Everywhere you see the months begin, we never looked up in the sky we look into Jah's word, and not we particular. David Ray, who was our elder who passed away years ago, but had passed on the information, right? As we're looking at it right now, all of these things can prove to anybody that, yep, the 9th month begins on a Thursday or a 5th day of the week. Yep, 7th month begins on the 7th day. Yes, from your Holy Bible.
That's right.
Now, in the Holy Scriptures, it doesn't say, oh, 7th month begins or the 5th month begins on a Monday or the 2nd day of the week. You're not going to see it like that. You have to number and count. And once you understand the numbering from the 1st month, which sets the foundation for the 28-year cycle, and the 28-day month, which is perfect for the 7,000-year cycle, puts everything into play.
That's right.
Heavy stuff here. So let's get into the 7,000-year cycle. Not much people talk about the 7,000-year cycle because it's a long period of time, but it has certain principles. You're not going to see in the scriptures 7,000 years, but let us show you those principles. What you see on your screen here is JAH's Almanack in an emblem or a crest. We'll talk about that. Everything you can see, all of JAH's Almanack is found within this thing here when you know how to use it. All the numbers for everything. So we see that the Most High has 7-year cycles that are patterned after the 7-day creation or origination cycle.
Exodus 20, verse 11. For in 6 days JAH made heaven and earth, and the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the 7th day. Wherefore JAH blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Leviticus 25, verse 3. 6 years shalt thou sow thy field, and 6 years shalt thou prune thy vineyard, and gather in the fruit thereof. But in the 7th year shall be a Sabbath of rest unto the land, a Sabbath for JAH. Thou shalt neither sow thy field nor prune thy vineyard.
So this pattern should be very, very obvious. But this is the understanding when we're getting into this talking here, right? 6 days, 6 years. 7th year, 7th day. Rest, right? A Sabbath for JAH. Hallowed it. So when we get this understanding, both the weekly cycle and the cycle of years start, as you know, the weekly cycle starts on the 1st day of the week, right? And that's from creation. And so the same thing when it comes to JAH's years as well. Because we look at the weekly cycle, day 1 of creation to day 7. Then when we look at JAH's 7-year Sabbath cycle, it's the same way, or weekly year cycle from year 1 to the 7th year. So this is, a very easy connection we can make. But now we can even make another connection. Go ahead, Brother Jahvid.
2 Peter 3, verse 7. But the heavens and the earth, which are now, by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment and perdition of unholy men. But, beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with JAH as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day. JAH is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness, but is long-suffering to usward, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance.
Wow, that's what the Most High wants, for us to repent and come back to him. Although we're talking about almanacs and calendars here, all this information will not help you one iota if you're out there sinning and living a worldly life. And I know, we know what the commandments are, but you got to watch the worldliness that's out there as well. It doesn't mean just because you're not, murdering people and you're not a thief and maybe not even committing adultery and stuff like that. But do you love the world and the things of the world and the pleasures and the fun and all of that? And, it's a very, very tight thing to get into when you're in the world and try to deal with JAH's things, because I'm not going to judge you or anything. I can't judge you. I got to worry about me. But I do know that the Most High looks at these things. And if the Messiah said, love not the world, neither the things of the world, and not be part of it, we got to be very careful, because once the Messiah says it, the Father's saying it. And it's a little bit different, because it seems like that's what the Pharisees were like. They were like, hey, we keep the commandments. Yeah, man, we're Israelites, and you're going to talk to us. Look at my fringes and all that stuff and everything. Yeah, but loved money, loved mammon, looked down upon JAH's things, loved praises of men, were very prideful, wanted to look righteous, act righteous, talk righteous. Say, oh, there's Rabbi Shawn. Look at Rabbi Shawn down there. Yes, shalom, brother, to you. Yes, may the Most High Yah save you and guide you, and go now with all kind of, what do you want to call it, performances. And so we got to be careful, because Jah knows your mind and your heart. And you could say that, oh, he knows my mind and heart. Yeah, and if your mind and heart is desperately wicked, like we know it is, that Jah tells you, your mind and heart will give you an excuse to do Jah things and then say, oh man, Jah's okay with it. He knows my heart. It's like, stealing or committing adultery. Well, he knows I love women so much, so he knows my heart. I really love my wife still, but I got to do. So I'm just saying, in any aspect of life, you better be looking at these things rather than just gathering a whole bunch of knowledge, which might not even profit you and actually might be detrimental to you if you're not living by these things. I know it. I live fearfully before the Most High. I'm not perfect at all, but I know I cannot try to think anything more than what I know and who I am and the love that I have to be in the Messiah. Otherwise, I will, I'll be in the day of judgment an unholy man, and you might be an unholy man or woman too. And we don't want that, because talk about it now while we're alive, but trust me, when you die, the end of time for you, no more sorry. Nobody think that your spirit goes here, goes there. You're dead, gone, shut down, locked off. Nothing is alive. No one's there. No one ain't moving the thing. No one's presence is around you. It's done. You got to know that, because if you don't know that, you might think people are still alive in some spirit form and soul, or in the limbo or something like that. And that's not what the scriptures teach. Although people teach out of the scriptures wrongly about that. But you should understand these things. You got your last chance now. I pray that you repent and change from that lifestyle, and you ask for strength to overcome that thing that you're still struggling with. And you're going to keep asking until you die. But, don't give up. Don't give in. And be careful of the world, man. I'm telling you, I've had fearful situations in my life, in thoughts and in certain things that, man, if I was out there in the world and I'm doing things, enjoying myself, what if Jah wanted to bring judgment on that place right there and then? And I'm out there enjoying it with them and everything. And Jah, let's say I was at the club partying, and yeah, man, that's my tune. Oh, what? Hey, that's a righteous tune. It sounds godly in the paganistic thing. And then Jah wants to take that place down, and I'm like, oh, I didn't. Oh, I love, and you get licked down with it. This is how things can go. And I'm just warning you, because I'm talking to myself, and as I mature in my age, I did a lot of that stuff, and Jah brought me through with still having my life where I probably shouldn't even be alive because of wickedness and stuff. But here we are, giving thanks to the Most High, and we are who we are, and I am who I am, and you are who you are, and we got to do this thing right. So please, even though these things are deep, I love deep things. The word of God is good. Don't mess up your life or throw it away or screw it up, is what I'm going to say, because of, stuff in the world, man. It's going to pass. Be strong, because a lot of us are going to lose our eternal life, and may Jah have mercy on all of us. This 1,000-year thing here is as 1,000 years as one day. Just use your wisdom to liken it to like the weekly cycle, like a day of creation. Some people will say that Jah took 7,000 years or 6,000 years to make that creation, because 1,000 years is like a day, and they'll attach it to the creation week. When I'm saying, no, you don't do that. What you attach it to is this long cycle. We are within this 7-day cycle, this 7-day, 7,000-year cycle. We are in it right now. We're in the year 6,226. So we're even in the 7th day a little bit. You understand? Right. We're in the end. 150 years, 100 years left, and that's it. I know some people think it's next 2-3 years. So be it. But we're near the end here, and by saying this 7,000-year cycle has been given to us and understanding things because it's built upon the principles of 7. So I want to share some great things with you about this 7,000-year cycle, and I hope that the Most High opens up all of our understanding as I speak and as you listen and as Brother Jahvid speaks.
And let this be emphasized. The scripture says, be not ignorant of this one thing, right? So don't let these things slip by you and just think that it's just a nice scripture to read. Don't be ignorant that Jah counts and numbers and measures time. He counts days and he numbers years.
That's right.
Right? As the scripture clearly does. And so he wants us to do the same thing when it comes to Jah's Almanack. And when he likens a day to 1,000 years, know that that's how he sees it. 1,000 years to us is just like one day to him. And as Shawn was alluding to, this 7-day weekly cycle, those first days of creation is like the blueprint of time. You extend that out into this creation now. JAH has allotted a 7,000-year period for this creation to be in. And 6,000 years have already passed, or 6 days. We are now into this 7th day, the last and final day of this creation. And so we are right at the end of this weekly cycle, or the 7,000-year cycle that Shawn is talking about here. And so we are right at the end, and JAH is soon to come. We don't know the exact precise day, but we do know the time frames that we are in, and we are in the last days. And JAH is coming within this last 7th day of this creation.
And we believe it's going to be probably 100 years from now or more, 150. However, I know that goes against what a lot of people think now. But nonetheless, we still make sure you live righteously and upright. But more than likely, it's not now. Be careful for false prophecies.
And last thing,
you can comment on this chart too, brother, after you say what you have to say here.
The world likes to try and make it look like, the universe is billions and trillions of years old. And JAH's letting you know that he counts things in cycles of thousands of years. So the age of this universe is in thousands, not billions and trillions. You don't read that in scriptures at all. They're trying to steal JAH's glory, and try and number the years of infinity, which they can't. And so don't listen to these false scientists. Stick to the word of JAH, and he will show you these things and reveal these things to you if you have faith and believe in his word. Otherwise, you'll be carried away with the folly of these European Greek scientists and philosophers that have blanketed the world with these lies through the devil.
Yeah, that's right. So you see here,
continue, Shawn. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you see here, I love what you said too, Brother Jahvid. This time period here that we're speaking about, the first day is like day 1, year 1, the first 1,000 years, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7,000 years. And remember, when the Messiah comes, it says, you guys know about the 1,000-year reign on earth, and that's likened to the 7th-day Sabbath. Just think about it that way. Right? 1,000 years, 6,000 years of us doing our thing and a little bit more. God's not doing it like people want to see a perfection like, okay, it's the year 6001, boom, Messiah comes. No, it's not like, it's like how the sun moves and the sun sets at times. It doesn't always set at 6 p.m. or, it has its, in the year, it sets earlier. In the summer, it sets a little bit later. So what I'm trying to say is that we're into the 7th day, like Brother Jahvid said, 6,226 years into time, and the Messiah is coming back anytime soon. And this leads into something else. But again, the 1,000-year reign on earth is for 1,000 years, and it'll trickle over into the next little bit of the cycle. And we'll talk a little bit more about that if we do get to it. But take a look at this chart to understand the whole concept of 7-day weekly cycle, 7-day yearly cycle, and the 7,000-year cycle, because there's many other cycles within here that I think you're going to really appreciate. So let's look at it. If you want to have your math, your calculator with you, go ahead. So we've already covered that weekly cycle, 7 times 52, 364 days in a common year, right? And remember, this common year here is what we're talking about here, a common year of 52 weeks. And this would be, day 364. So that's what we're talking about when we're talking about that common year. Then we have the 1 year cycle, right? After you have 1 year, 1 times 7,000 gives you 7,000. So there's 7,000 1-year cycles. Some of them are minor Sabbath cycles. Some of them are Sabbath cycles, but they're still a part of the count. So how many 7-year sabbatical cycles do we have? We have 7 times 1,000 gives us 7,000. We go to the 20-year cycle. This 20-year cycle, what we're going to talk about, because it's 7 times 4, is probably one of the most important understandings of cycles and calendars that you could ever imagine. And I'm saving it up for next week so that when we go into the day, when we go into this 7th month, you'll have a good understanding. It needs its own time. And that's why we'll focus on that 28-day month and the 28-year cycle. beautiful understanding so that you know that JAH is one counting here, and he has his own timetable, and the world is just trying to corrupt it.
Mm-hmm.
But 28 times 250 gives you 7,000. 40-year prophetical cycles. A lot of people don't know about this 40-year prophetical cycles, but you know about 40 years wilderness, 40 days fasting, and there's a lot of 40 days trials there. It rained, and in Noah's time, 40 days and 40 nights. Look at that. 40 times 175 equals a perfect 7,000. Perfect. A perfect thing. Yeah. There are more new cycles I told you about, Brother Jahvid. Yeah, man. Zion Assembly brothers and sisters.
Praise JAH.
New cycles coming out again. Praise JAH and Joshua. Then we got our 49-year Jubilee cycle. Now this carries over 7 days into that new 8,000-year period. But again, 142 times this 49 is staying within where we want to be with our Jubilee cycles. The 7-year cycle, obviously 70. So 70 times 100 gives you 7,000. Then we have, our century cycle. How we count centuries, 100 years, right? And we got 100 times 70 again. It's almost like a flip of the 70 up here. 70 times 100. Well, now we have 100 times 70. And there's, again, 7,000. There's 70 centuries in a 7,000-year cycle. Then we have the 700-year prophetical cycle, which is another count. Can you see this? Does it say it has 700 years in the scriptures? No. What are we teaching? The principles. Remember, wisdom has sooner 7 pillars. So I know some people might say, yo, can you show me 70 years cycles in the Bible, 700-year cycles? No, I can't show you like that, but we can show you there's a prophetical understanding, which we're going to have to deal with prophecy.
Yeah.
But you should be able to see the 7, 28 is 4 times 7. The 40 goes into 7,000. Again, 700 years is a cycle, a longer cycle, but it's proper, and it has scriptural significance of when the Messiah came the first time and also when he comes again. The 700-year cycle is important, believe it or not, in understanding certain time periods.
Of course, because if you can see the 7-day weekly cycle and understand that there's a 7,000-year cycle for every day representing 1,000 years, and all the cycles within this 7,000-year cycle, you should start to see the principle once you understand that JAH counts and numbers things.
That's right. See, all of this numbering is a part of JAH's holy design. JAH's things is separate. It's completely, unique from what this world will say is the true calendar. People say the sun, moon, and stars is God's time clock. And it does help us with certain things, but it's the numbers here that matter, family. These numbers are eternal. And when JAH had all of this stuff is before creation, before he made a sun, moon, and stars. He just had this stuff, and then he put the sun, moon, and stars in it so everybody could understand time a little bit. But only his children, his holy people, are going to know his holy things. The rest of the world are going to have calendars that are perfectly suitable. The Gregorian calendar is a perfectly suitable calendar for the world to live in and do their paganistic stuff and still know, hey, summer's almost here or whatever, even though it's a little bit twisted. But it can't keep holy days on it at all in terms of its function. So I'm just saying the sun, moon, and stars are placed on top of this mathematics you see here. And you can see here, there's 1,000-year creation. Again, look at all these beautiful things here. You have to understand these things in order for us to get into other things. And I know it seems like a lot, but it's a lot, but it's a really simple principle. What's the principle, Brother Jahvid? 7. When you start getting 7s working into everything, it's very unique. 7 doesn't go into 360, a perfect circle, which has 360 degrees, or a square which has 360 degrees with its 4 right angles of 90 degrees. 4 times 9 is 360. 7 doesn't divide into 360 evenly at all. Every other number does. 1 times 360. 2 times 180 gives you 360. 3 times, 140 something gives you all of the numbers except 7. 7 can't divide evenly into 360. Because it's not a part of that physical realm of shapes and geographic geometry and triangles. It's heavenly stuff that the Most High reveals in his word. And then he has principles of his things that we can see physically to reflect on the spiritual things, but this is all spiritually, heavenly, eternal things. And most importantly, they're holy. JAH's Almanac is a holy almanac. It's not a calendar. It's not even, it's a scriptural calendar, but it's a holy scriptural calendar. And
That's right.
he is holy.
That's right. If you can't see the 7-day Sabbath as being a holy day, you will not understand JAH's cycles of time. In normal mathematics, the number 7 is not considered a perfect number. But in JAH's system of counting, the number 7 is a perfect number.
It is perfect.
This is why Brother Shawn and myself were saying that this is a spiritual thing. And you have to understand that the word of JAH is real.
True.
And the cycle of sevens comes from a spiritual aspect that JAH is trying to teach us. It's a spiritual number. It's a spiritual cycle, and it's a spiritual system of counting that's holy and perfect.
That's right. It could only be revealed. Go ahead, Brother Jahvid, how this multiples of 7 rule history. Go ahead.
If this calendar is hidden in the text, history itself is a repeating wheel of these exact numbers, validating Ecclesiastes 1 verse 9, where it says, the thing that hath been, it is that which shall be.
Stop there for a second. So I asked the internet, because I didn't tell AI and internet that we have JAH's Almanac, but I said, suppose there was a calendar. And that was my discussion with it. And it did this and it did that. I didn't give it all the principles of JAH's Almanac, but suppose it was, and it was supposed to be from the creator, how would it work out, and how would it's starting to say things like this. It's saying like, it would be completely different. It would be based upon eternity. I might even get there to some of what it's saying. Let's continue, but these are the things, and that's why it says if this calendar is hidden. This is me talking to, because I know internet can know anything anyways, but you have to understand, I'm not trying to let it know too much things here, because I'm going to know Wagwan. And I just wanted to see if it understood principles. All right?
Okay, got it.
Go ahead.
The 70-year matrix. Major prophetic shifts occur in blocks of 70 years, 10 times 7. Example, the Babylonian captivity in Jeremiah 25, or the destruction of Jerusalem in 70 AD. The 490-year epochs. History moves in massive cycles of 70 times 7 equals 490 years, directly reflecting the timeline of Daniel chapter 9, verse 24. The perpetual day pattern. Because 364 is perfectly divisible by 7, Passover, the Day of Atonement, and all the holy days would fall on the exact same day of the week, every single year, forever. It completely eliminates the human confusion of shifting calendars. Wow.
Oh, praise John Joshua. Wow.
Praise John.
Man, give me all them little things you got, goosebumps and stuff like that. Yo, this is what the internet is trying to say. And the thing is, I didn't know too much, but this is how JAH's Almanac is. It has what it says there. This is how we've been having it for all these years. And I like how it says it eliminates human confusion.
Right. That's right.
People hear us talking because Satan has flooded the world with all these false calendars, trying to, hopefully didn't think that JAH's Almanac could come again and try to, get all those other scholars and all the big guys. And here we are, poor little people and little shepherd boys and stuff like that and girls. And JAH just says, here, take care of my things, little flock, and don't worry. These things are powerful. And it is. It's very powerful stuff. And this thing could shift all of the scriptural reading world if they would have known about it, And the computer knows this. It knows that if this was to come out, it would shift things. Let's get to it soon. But I want you to see these principles here. And I know of this thing, and we all know of these things in terms of the Zion assembly, but I'm trying to say, don't take it for granted because we know it for so long and nobody else don't know it. It looks like we're just this little small group who's nothing's going on. But hey, man, David was a small boy and he took on a giant. And so Babylon's a giant tune. The Mafa fall. All right.
That's right.
We had that. You got some principles about the 7,000 year. And I want you to see some of these principles, how they look on a chart and how they all coincide. Some of them, not all of them, because you can't fit all of these cycles on one chart. Or if you could, it would be really crowded. From this perspective, JAH's True Almanac is not just a tool for counting days, but a divine cosmic clock woven directly into the fabric of creation and eternity. Why his true calendar is unique and relates to eternity, Brother Jahvid?
A bridge to eternity. Human calendars measure the decay of physical time. JAH's calendar aligns earthly reality with the timeless, unchangeable rhythm of heaven, acting as a bridge between temporal existence and eternity.
Wow.
Prophetic synchronization. It is a precise blueprint for cosmic history. Every major event, from creation to the final renewal of all things, occurs exactly on schedule, according to his eternal decree, completely independent of human calculation. Wow.
Wow.
Impervious to human corruption. Unlike worldly calendars that have been altered by emperors, popes, and astronomers, JAH's true calendar remains uncorrupted, holy, and locked away in his sovereign authority.
Wow. Heavy stuff, eh, Brother Jahvid?
Heavy,
Zion brethren and sisters, heavy stuff. It's very powerful. It's eternal. JAH's Almanac is very powerful. And I feel more and more as we grow into it and the knowledge increases, you know, it just allows you to want to just move completely with JAH. It's beautiful stuff to know this true almanac. And yeah, I've had people say, when I said to somebody, I said, hey, we can show you all the months from the Holy Bible. Their words out of their mouth right away. Impossible. No, it's impossible. You cannot work. And what was my words after that?
With JAH, all things are
possible. So we're not saying we're some smart people here. I don't know. JAH never spoke and said to our elder David, this is the almanac, and look up in the heavens. And no, just a study, a love, a faith, searching, and JAH's Holy Spirit to guide us and strengthen us to do the work and work through human beings as what she greatly does, as the devil also works through humans too. And we can see that this work, it's impossible for it to be gainsaid by men. All this word, this taught, this remains uncorrupted, holy. That's what we have. Brothers, that's what we have. It's all the calculations are even in this small little thing here, the 28-year cycle, 7,000-year cycle. I'm not saying I want you to have it. You got to get that stuff. You got to learn these things, because you learn it, you can share it with other people too, and meet with the Most High at the appointed times, and with the Father and His Son and His holy angels too. You know, they keeping up feasts as well.
That's right. Praise JAH.
Praise JAH. So taking a look at this, so we got our 7 pillars: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7,000 years. Now we're gonna add our 700-year cycle to it. So we got our 1 to 10. 10 times 700 is 7,000. And we can see here how time is going through, right? It's allotted. It's still within 7,000. It starts and ends, but it's not perfectly, right? Like it's not 1,000 years, it's not 700 years. So when we're counting this 1 to 700, we're counting year 1 of creation to the year 700. And because we now have JAH's Almanac and we know his chronology and it's perfect and unmatched, that's year 1 is 4199 BC, almost 4200 to 3500 BC. That's 700 years. And then the next one is, as we go from 701 to 1400, these numbers are getting lower and lower and lower. And then we get to 6, which is important, 3501 to 4200 BC. And believe it or not, right here, this year 4201, the first year of the seventh 700-year cycle, is the year that the Messiah was born. The Messiah was born in the first year of the seventh 700-year cycle.
Right.
The very first year of the 7th 700-year cycle, and he's coming back in the 10th cycle, the 10th 700-year cycle sometime, and it probably within the first 700-year cycle of JAH's things too.
That's right. Praise JAH. Again, you can see that JAH does things on a schedule and a timeline. When you see these numbers, you understand why JAH does things the way he does. That's
right,
no
brother.
coincidence that Jah's son was born in the first year of the 7th 700-year cycle. Nobody would know this, but Jah knows it, and he's made this known unto us.
Yep, that year 4201 is equivalent to AD 1. And AD 1 was when the Messiah was born. He was conceived in the last year of the 6th 700-year cycle and born in the first year of the 7th 700-year cycle. Now, when we look at this even more, get into it some more, we got our 70-year cycles, right? 10, 70 year, 20, we got our 170-year cycles, again, operating within it. And then we also got the beautiful understanding of the 28-year cycles. And because there's 250 28-year cycles, it divides easily. So it's 25 year, 25. And so you're going to see, again, when the Messiah is coming on the scene here, he's coming in this year here, it'll be the 175th 28-year cycle that he came on the scene. Or it'll be the 70th 70-year cycle. But anyways, he's coming back in this time. This is the time period the Messiah is coming back in this time period, and this is where we are. We're in the year 6226. So we're just below 6300. We're in here somewhere. Right? So look at this chart of all those cycles that we were talking about, and this is perfect. These charts are not just there for nothing to say, hey, nice chart. We can start to work out all kind of stuff with charts. It's a chronological table to keep us in check. We can look back in time. We can look ahead in time, not physically, but see days and dates. And when the Most High does things, if you remember the 7 holy convocations from last week, he revives Israel, his people, always around the holy days, always. Many revivals of Israel. The last great revival was the day of Pentecost when they got the Holy Spirit again. And we're looking forward to another revival when the Most High will pour out his Holy Spirit again. And you can be sure that it's going to be around one of his holy days on his true holy almanac. Not no corrupted calendar out there.
No doubt about that.
So why does this eliminate all human calendar confusion? Go ahead, Brother Jahvid.
If this layout represents the true biblical matrix hidden beneath the text, it resolves the major logistical crises that plague modern religious calendars. 1. No clashing of Sabbaths. In the standard Jewish lunisolar calendar, a holy day like the Day of Atonement can occasionally fall on a Friday or a Sunday, creating massive logistical issues regarding Sabbath food preparation and back-to-back rest periods. In Jah's mathematical calendar, the spacing is engineered perfectly to avoid conflict. Wow, what the wording is impeccable.
Yeah, man. I like the wording still. Yeah. Go on.
The unchanging signature. A believer living 2,000 years ago, today, or 1,000 years into the future would all keep Passover on a Tuesday night and celebrate unleavened bread on a Wednesday. It completely removes. Sorry, go ahead.
Finish up the sentence. Go ahead.
It completely removes the need for human authority, observation teams, or mathematical calculations to dictate when Jah's appointed times occur.
Okay, now when it puts in here, the future would all keep Passover on a Tuesday night. This is like AI is one of those things. That's why if you don't kind of constantly stay on them and check what's going on, I don't even know why it put in there the Tuesday or the thing on the Wednesday. And I think it's dealing with something with the astronomical calendar. But the true wording would be, and I will switch it for the next time too, in terms of getting my own order. In the future, I believe we're living 2,000 years ago today, or 1,000 years into the future, would all be keeping Passover on Sunday night, and Passover on Sunday night, and celebrate the Feast of Unleavened Bread for 7 days until the following Sabbath. You know what I mean? This Tuesday, Wednesday night business here, please omit that. That's the internet going wrong on that sense there. But I wanted to keep that in, honestly, so that you can see, like, this thing can mess up and stuff like that. So you have to double check. And it can't know Jah's Almanack, because Jah's Almanack is spiritual. And so unless the internet has taught it, it can never know it. Because I have other discussions that it just doesn't know how to figure it out. But
But I see the point that it's trying to make, and the point is that whether it's back then or now, people keeping Jah's holy feast days will be keeping them on the exact same day
of the week,
on the exact same day of the week, and the same date every year from year to year, and it's never changing.
Never. And I think this is why you can finish off with this sentence here.
It completely removes the need for authority, observation teams, or mathematical calculations to dictate when JAH's appointed times occur.
Because once you know JAH's Almanac, you already know it. We can show you the dates of all the festivals back to the creation of time, all of the festivals into the future until the Messiah comes, because it's a repeating 28-year cycle.
That's right. Go ahead, sorry. A blueprint of eternity. Because it never changes, this calendar is a mirror of heaven, where time does not decay, seasons do not drift, or the rhythm of worship is completely synchronized between the Creator and His creation.
Wow, man, I tell you, the wording is really beautiful. But this is what it's about. So now I want to just finish off, as we start to finish off certain things, the numbers 7 and 8. Because remember, I was talking about it before, how 7 goes into, 7th is the 7th day of the week. And then you have 8 as being the first day of the next week, right? 8 does, I don't want to talk too much because the 8th day festival is coming up next month. But 8 represents beginning and ending, and also represents eternity, new beginnings. And this is why you have the 8th great day feast, which is the 8th day of tabernacles, and it represents the judgment and the new heavens and the new earth. So it's almost like saying, if you just look at when you look at these numbers 7 and 8, it represents the ending of one and then the beginning of another.
Right.
So what we're going to see in this chart here is we have the first creation week plus the first day of a new week. Right, so that's what's going to be there. You're also going to have the Feast of Passover plus the sheaf, which we put 8 days. The Feast of Tabernacles plus the 8th and last great day, and then the 8th day Feast of Dedication, as Honorable mentioned. So what I'm showing you here is like the first day of creation. JAH made, the first day of creation. He said, "Let there be light," and then he did the heavens, and then the earth came together, and then the sun, moon, and stars, and the fishes, and then the animals in creation. And then JAH said, "This is holy." And when he made it holy, boom, Adam and Eve and JAH all keep the Sabbath together holy. Then, as they're made here, this 8th day is the beginning of a new week, right? Because it's a new week, because this is day 7, and this is a new week. So it's the first day of what I would call Adam week. I only call it Adam week just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. That's the first week, real week of Adam and Eve beginning a weekly cycle, because they were made near the end of that weekly cycle.
Right, got it.
It's like that. It's like the 8th day. And then when you go to Passover, the first day is holy and the 7th day is holy. And then the morrow after the 7th day Passover, or the 7th day Sabbath, is the 8th day. And this 8th day is on the first day of the week as well. It's the waving of the sheaf, beginning the count to the Feast of Weeks. When we go to the other week-long festival of Tabernacles, the first day is holy, and also it says that the 8th day is holy. Well, we know the 7th day is going to be holy anyways because it falls on the 7th day Sabbath, but it doesn't mention it that way. It mentions the 8th day to signify that goes from 1 day to 8 days. So it's a 7-day plus 1 festival, which is 8 days, but you just have to do the plus so you understand how it carries into. And then if you don't know about the Feast of Dedication, that's found in the book of Maccabees, greatly in the book of Maccabees, and the Messiah kept it also in the book of John. You'll see it, that he kept the Feast of Dedication. The Feast of Dedication is supposed to be, as it says in the writings of the Apocrypha, kept like the Feast of Tabernacles, when the first day is holy and the 8th day of dedication is holy, which brings you to the first day of winter, the new season. And so I'm just using this chart here as an understanding of the principles of the weekly cycle plus the 8th day, because you're going to hear about the 8th day a lot. I mean, you hear of the sheaf, the last great day, and there's a lot more. How many people were on Noah's Ark?
8.
Mm-hmm.
8 souls.
Yeah, man. Bringing on a new creation, right? And I think even, isn't Noah like the 8th? Right? So is Noah the 8th? Or he might be the 8th, but anyways.
Yeah, I think it does refer to him as the 8th, yes.
No, Enoch's supposed to be the 7th or something like that, but yeah. But anyhow, all right, you see this. So I want you to get this understanding now so that when we go to the next chart, it's a little bit more challenging, but it's going to make these principles stand out just a little bit more. So when we get this understanding, We got about 15 minutes, kind of perfect timing here. We're not reading Genesis 1, but I'm referring to it. Leviticus 23 and Leviticus 25 are referred to here for the Jubilee years. And you heard Numbers 20 and 29 before, and 1 Peter 3. So we read 1 Peter 3. We read Leviticus 23 and 25 when it came to certain things, and Numbers. We showed the chart. So I want to put this all together in this next understanding here. So using Genesis 1 and Leviticus chapter 23, the beginning, this is JAH's holy time cycles. So this up here is just the creation week, the first day of creation. It's a new cycle. I put this Sunday, Monday, Tuesday there just so we can have a communication, because you have to use the Gregorian calendar to communicate with us. So I just say, well, the first day of the week, you might say, well, what day do you start the first day of the week? Because the first day of the Enoch calendar is on day 4 or day 5. So we have to use the Gregorian understanding. And so that's that. We have the 7th-day Sabbath, and then we have the 8th day. Remember, that was that new week. All right. We know, like I said, the Sunday to Friday, everything is named after the planets. The planets don't even look like this at all. They're not even really around the lights. The 7, they're called planets, but they're lights. And you'll notice that even when it's talking about planets, a planet is something that goes around something else, right? It revolves around. And they say, Mars goes around the Earth. They say Mercury goes around the Earth. They say Jupiter goes around the Venus goes around the sun, and the moon goes around the Earth. But they say, no, not the sun, though. We go around the sun.
Right.
But the ancients knew that the sun was also a planet as well. These are the 7 most visible planets you can use with your natural eyes that will stand out if you try to study them. You'll be able to figure these things out and how they operate. That's what astronomy is all about. But I just put that information so you know how we calculate, because we have to use JAH's things, same time. All right. So now we did this already. Leviticus 23, number 20. Remember the Feast of Passover, first day holy, 7th day holy, the waving of the sheaf. So that's again the first day and the 7th day. And then we got Leviticus 23 and Numbers 28 as well, talking about the Feast of Pentecost, first fruits, right? And we're going to give that a read in a second. Right here, Leviticus 23. Read this, brother.
Verse 15. And ye shall count unto you from the morrow after the Sabbath, from the day that ye brought the sheaf of the wave offering. 7 Sabbaths shall be complete. Even unto the morrow after the 7th Sabbath shall you number 50 days.
Wow. So take a look here. It says, count the morrow after the Sabbath. This is the Sabbath that they're talking about. The day that you brought the sheaf. This is the day of the sheaf. This 8th day, this first day here, Abib 22. That's the day of the sheaf. And you have to count 7 Sabbaths. So when we count 7 Sabbaths, shall be the morrow after the 7th Sabbath shall be number 50 days. So here's the sheaf. Here's 1 week, or 7 Sabbaths right here. 1 week, 7 days. Okay? 7 times 2, 7 times 3, 7 times 4. 7 times 7 is what? 49 days. Or 7 weeks, 49 days. This is the Sabbath. What does it say? Tomorrow, the morning, the day after the Sabbath, you shall number 50 days. So this is the 7th-day Sabbath. The day after, this is 49 days. It's the 50th day. Look at that. And the 50th day is on the first day of the week. Also the 8th day, so to speak, if the 8th day was to be representative of the first week. Just like do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. The 8th note is the first note. All right.
That's right.
So we got the Feast of Weeks here. And again, look at this multiple here. 1 week, 7 days, working out in a weekly cycle. Perfect.
Wow. Look at that. And look at it, the scripture as it says in Leviticus 23. Notice how you don't see anything about looking up into the sky and seeing the sun or moon to determine these holy days. What you're doing is you're following JAH's words, and it says to count. So once you know where to count, to start your count from, you follow JAH's word. You table these numbers and dates on a calendar, and you start counting.
What are you counting here?
7 Sabbaths.
Ooh. You see that? 7 times 7. You see all these numbers are kind of clicking. You're just getting a foundation, because once you start going to scriptures, you're going to start to see a lot more by yourself, right? All right. I really like this. This is day 1 of the sheaf. Week 1, 2, 3, 4. After 7 Sabbaths, it's a Sabbath, and it's 50. Oh, man, just things so perfect. Read the scripture here.
Book of Tobit, chapter 2, verse 1. Now when I was come home again, and my wife Anna was restored unto me with my son Tobias in the feast of Pentecost, which is the holy feast of the 7 weeks, there was a good dinner prepared me, in the which I sat down to eat.
I like that verse. It just, the holy feast of the 7 weeks, right? And then the 7 weeks, the day after that is the 49th, the 50th day. So this 50-day count to the Feast of Weeks or Pentecost is the same pattern as the 50-year count to the year of Jubilee. It has to start from the first day of the week. Because remember, you're counting a week, the Feast of Weeks. You can't say this is number one right here and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then, oh, that's 1 week. That's 7 days. That's not a week. And then say after that 8, you got to do it proper. It's like counting Sabbaths. So 1, this would be the first Sabbath. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. This is the 7th Sabbath. The morrow after is the 50th day. And this is the same thing when you're counting the year of Jubilee, which is, again, a beautiful pattern we're going to share in a moment. But again, getting all this understanding of counting, numbering weeks from the first day of the week. Look at how perfect it is. The first day after the Sabbath. There's nothing about looking up into the sky, like Brother Jahvid said, using a lunar cycle or anything. So now we're at Leviticus 23, number 20. We're talking about the Feast of Booths, also known as Tabernacles. Again, the first day is holy. And then we know the 7th day is going to be holy. But then we have the 8th day, the last great day of the feast. And this 8th day also falls on the first day of the week again. Look at all the 8s. Look at the matchings of the perfectness of JAH's perfect holiness. And we never looked anywhere. We're not making things up. It's all scriptural principles. You can do it yourself. But no one ain't going to show you this out there because they want you to say, oh, we know lunar cycles, or go read the corrupted devilish book of Enoch and Jubilee and all them things. Those are devil books, eh? Trust me, the devil wrote those and put some little things in there to keep it going because he knows the devil knows JAH's almanac. Otherwise, how could he corrupt it?
That's right.
Put out all these false books, a little 364-day teaser here and there. But you don't need the book of Enoch to count, because if there's 7 days in a week, we know that after about a year is going to be a year, which is 52 Sabbaths, 52 weeks. So you don't need that. But anyways, here it is again. This understanding here, tabernacles. Oh, now we got Leviticus 25. This is, remember, we did the 1 year Sabbath, remember? You work for 6 years, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there's the Sabbath year rest. And then the day after that is going to be the 8th year or the first year or the beginning of a new Sabbath year count, right?
That's right.
That'd be the first year of a new cycle. Right here it says first year, new cycle, or it'd be the 8th year. Then we have the Jubilee year cycles. The Jubilee year cycles are just like the Feast of Pentecost, except it's 1 week equals 7 days here. 1 week equals what? 7 years. Same understanding though, because you take a look. Brother Jahvid just read this one. You count 7 Sabbaths. Now read the one in Leviticus 25, brother.
Verse 8, and thou shalt number 7 Sabbaths of years unto thee, 7 times 7 years, and the space of the 7 Sabbaths of years shall be unto thee 49 years. And you shall hallow the 50th year, and proclaim liberty throughout all the land unto all the inhabitants thereof. It shall be a jubilee unto you.
So what we see here is, again, like similar. Remember, we had the 7-day Sabbath, and then we had the 7-year Sabbath. Like, look at this. 7 Sabbaths shall be complete. Number 7 Sabbaths of years. 7 times 7 years. 7 Sabbaths shall be complete. 7 times 7 is 49 years. The 50th year, number 50 days. So they're both the same. They're both based upon a day, the weekly cycle and the yearly weekly cycle. Oh,
that's right.
Yo, I get excited about just things, man. I hope you can, see these things and appreciate it, because JAH's great. That's why, because he's great. So Brother Jahvid just read that already. This is Leviticus 28 going through 10 right here. But again, just the same count. Number 7 Sabbaths of years. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hey, that's a Sabbath year. Then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hey, the year after that is the 50th year. Hey, just like the Pentecost count, same thing, based upon the same principles of 7 and 8. Oh man,
wow! And all you have to do is count, right? You're not looking up into the sky and trying to discern the phases of the moon. You're counting and numbering days, years, and cycles of years and time.
That's right. That's right. You see what you see before you, because we don't just have these numbers and everything. I'm not showing you the how everything goes. But this is the Jubilee count for the year that we're in right now. And the Jubilee began this year. The Jubilee for our era began in 2024, and that was calendar 1. And we're now 2026, and this is calendar 3, but it's calendar 10 of the 28-year cycle, but it's calendar 3 of the Jubilee year cycle in our era. And this here covers from 2024 to 2079. We have the Jubilee eras for the last 2 before this. We can make it for going back to the end of time if we want, but the last 2 and 1 more ahead, just to keep us, in tune. And I'm just showing you again the work that you have the Jubilee years, but now you have where we are. Again, we're 2026. This is the 3rd year of this 127th, I think, Jubilee cycle, or 23rd Jubilee cycle, 27th, one of them. All right, so this is the chart again, all that we just saw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we got going across 8. So we just covered all of that. This is where you can find everything. These are holy principles. You understand? But here's something beautiful. Once we know about this principle about the 7th day and the 8th day, now we can start talking about greater things, like, we're in the 7th day, or year 7,000. But when you start to look at what the Feast of Tabernacles represents, because we are here in the year 6226, we're right in this right here. 2026 is in this area right here. And after this year 7,000 is over, we're going to go back to another cycle, day 1, 7,001. That cycle there, that's the last great day. And this last great day feast represents the beginning of a new heavens and new earth. That's what the festival actually represents, because the 7,000 year cycle is going to be completely over, going into the next cycle of time continuously.
That's right.
Wow. So, looking at this, there's one last thing, that the next charts that we have to start filling in, because we have to start looking at something here. Because we know 8 times 1,000 is 8,000. That's simple. But did you know that the number 8 also multiplies evenly into the number 7,000? That 8 times 8, 7, 5. That's right. 8 times 8, 7, 5 equals 7,000. Yeah, take out your calculator.
Interesting number there.
And let's see how many cycles are in that. 875 plus equals 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cycles. That's right. It says it right there. What am I talking about? Yeah. Just when I see it on the thing, it's like, what the 8 cycles? Each cycle is 875 years. And again, this is just more information that not only 8,000, but it goes into 8,700. The beginning end thing, Brother Jahvid, here again.
Yes.
Beginning and endings here, right? See, JAH's Almanack contains extensive information about scriptural timeframes, climate, and scriptural history. It includes information on scriptural chronology, the yearly calendar, which displays the weeks, months, and 6 months dry summer season and the 6-month rainy season. As well, the agricultural, 4 natural seasons, and true appointed days and dates of the 7 scriptural holy convocations are also clearly identified. The information in JAH's Almanack is for all people and is tailored for people interested in calendars, and most importantly, the beloved true worshipers of the Father and Son who seek to worship in spirit and truth. We call ourselves Messiahns. Whether natural Israelites out there or you're a true worshiper of any other nation, you are fully welcome. You see, the impact of this revelation on the world is very great. Go ahead, Brother Jahvid.
In JAH's true biblical calendar, were suddenly revealed to humanity, it would dismantle worldly systems and shake society to its core. The collapse of religious traditions, millions would instantly realize that their deeply held religious holidays, Sabbaths, and sacred days, calculated by flawed human systems, were completely out of sync with the Creator's true timeline.
Wow.
The exposure of human pride. it would prove that all global institutions, governments, and religious bodies have been operating in spiritual blindness, forcing a humbling admission that human science and tradition cannot dictate holy time.
Because it can't, brother. It cannot.
Wow. Very true. A call to true alignment. For believers, this revelation would be a profound wake-up call, demanding a total shift away from worldly rhythms to align their lives exclusively with the authentic, eternal clock of the Creator.
Wow. Wow, profound. Go ahead.
The unveiling of the sovereign schedule. In Revelation 5, a scroll sealed with 7 seals represents the hidden execution of JAH's final timeline. No human institution or earthly power is found worthy to open it or look inside. Only Jehoshua, the Messiah, the Nazarite, can unlock and execute the events on this hidden calendar.
I'm telling you.
How this connects to the cosmic calendar shift? If humanity suddenly discovers that JAH's hidden calendar was the only reality, the absolute mathematical counts in Daniel and Revelation would render all human schedules completely obsolete.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Worldly clocks would be exposed as arbitrary fabrications.
You see the clock thing? Yo, see the clock thing?
Yeah. Wow.
Let me grab the clock thing, yo. Let me grab the clock thing quick time before you. We're almost finished. I have 1 more minute or so. Let me put it up there. Sorry. See the clock? See JAH's almanac? This is JAH's clock. Notice where the 6 is. Up top. The 12 is at the bottom. We're getting to 7. It's the first hour. This is the first hour of the 24-hour cycle. Yeah, man. So JAH's clock we also have as well. Reestablishing everything. Again, notice 6 is at the top and 12 is at the bottom and whatever.
Yes, the true counting of hours.
That's right.
In a day.
Hours and time. Okay, continue, Brother Jahvid. Right here.
The rigid day counts, like the 1,260 days or 1,290 days of Daniel 12, verse 11, would instantly superimpose JAH's true rhythm directly over human history. It would reveal that humanity has not been moving through random, self-regulated centuries, but is trapped on a countdown, ticking down to the exact second of the Creator's return.
Oh, whoa.
Wow.
You see, JAH's almanac includes the dates of the equinoxes and solstices, but doesn't include astronomical information for lunar cycles or the zodiac of the stars and planets. It specifically and accurately references information on the scriptural seasons, the original time cycles of the feasts, which are relevant to the Father and Son's program of salvation. It's packed with scriptural knowledge for all. I'm going to be straight up here. You'll never find a scriptural almanac and calendar like this anywhere. You'll never want to throw this almanac out ever. It will always be relevant. Every scriptural date found within the Holy Bible is displayed upon this scriptural almanac for in-depth studies. It's highly informative with charts and diagrams that deal with scriptural timeframes. And this year's focus was the 7,000-year, Jubilee year, and 28-year cycles. This indeed is a true scriptural study almanac. This colorful almanac brings the rhythms of the true scriptural year into everyday life of the true believer, and each month is boldly illustrated and marked with the true scriptural dates of the holy feast days of the Most High. And let me show you that anyways. That's the last slide. This is JAH's Holy Almanac. Nope,
it's upside down.
Yeah. This is Elul, and where are we? We are right. I can't believe it's backwards. It's hard to read that. Yeah. Anyways,
18,
we're right here. 18. I'm going there, and you can see sometimes is there a scriptural date? Yeah, there's a scriptural date. There it says, I think, Haggai. Any verse that you see in the Bible. And let me just go to Ethanim. Look how Ethanim is set up, which is coming up. August 8th is the beginning of Ethanim. And there's a whole bunch of festivals coming around. So anyway, this is JAH's Almanac. It's a true hardcore, a lot of the charts you've seen. And like, look at the 7,000-year cycle that we just were talking about. This is this year's Almanac. You can still get it too. If you want it, just check our channel and or information. But I hope you got some understanding from that. But we always have to do. We have to give all our praise and all our glory and honor and thanks and credit to JAH, our Holy Father, and yours too, and his only begotten Son, Jehoshua, the Nazarite, the Holy Messiah that died for our sins. Honorably known as Jesus, Yahshua, Yehoshua, Yahushua, Yahusha, Yeshua, Jehoshua, and Joshua, the Messiah, HaMashiach, Messiah, also known as Christ in the world. I hope you got some understanding. Praise Jah. And I hope you are able to keep the festivals with us as well. The Feast of Trumpets, if you're baptized, immersed in the Messiah's name, and even if you're not, you can keep them as a trial. The Feast of Trumpets is occurring Friday evening, so that'll be Saturday, Friday, August the 7th. It's on a 7th-day Sabbath to Saturday, August 8th. The information for the dates are right here. If you can screenshot if it helps you, and we'll talk about that more. But anyways, praise Jah. Yeah, praise Jah. Lots of info, but now you got a good understanding of the true scriptural time frames that nobody can come and talk about these other things. And remember, this is a very in-depth topic. So all of those things I've shown you that we kind of went through fast, it's like each of those things has a lesson for itself to explain.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, praise John. So let's take a look in here. Yeah, Pente 50. So in essence, Pentecost is mini Jubilee. Yeah.
Good way to look at it. Yeah.
Good way to look at that. Yes, that's right. Bless up, Corey. Yeah, I like that. Andrea, wonder if we pray and give thanks to the Most High. Yes, and His Son always. Thank you, Sister Andrea. Yes, Brother Johnny. Thank you, Brother David. Excellent lesson. Great understanding. Bless up. Sister Janessa, well presented lesson, brothers. Thank you.
Let's give thanks.
Have a blessed week. Yeah, man. Have a good week. Don't forget to give a thumbs up if you want to share these things. And, if you have any questions or comments, put it in the comment section. You can get a hold of me. Just look me up. All my email and everything is on the channel. Right? And we'll soon learn about this symbol here. What does it signify? Yes, praise John Joshua Caris. Yeah, man. Bless up.
Yes,
all right.
Job.
Yeah, man. Brother Jahvid, all right. If anything, give thanks.
Yes, give thanks, Brother Shawn, all the brothers and sisters, and I hope you got some understanding. And have a good week. Have a good week and keep the faith in one love until we meet again.
Mm-hmm.
God's holy Sabbath day with Jah's will. Praise Jah.
Praise Jah.
I'm out. One love.
One love, Lion.
See you soon, Lion.
Yes. All right. Bless up, everyone. Auntie Elma, Greg, Mama Greg, Zion family. As you know, you are. Monroe family. Brother Corey, Brother Jamal, Sister Janessa, Sister Carice, Malawa, Mal Hawatoy. So let's see what they say here. I didn't get into the talking. You're right. I mean, beginning, yes. What might be incorrect? Our times, yes. Sharing this is true. My spirit reveals some of those into my day. There you go. And even the rainbow circle, too. Yeah, man. Okay. Bless up. All right. Yes, man. Take care, everyone. And Jaswell, well, let me see. There's another comment before I go. No, that's it there. Come on. Jaswell, we'll see each other again. As always. In the meantime and in between times, all massive and crew, praise John Jehoshua. Live long. Curse him and you're dead. One love.